Whew. Hey there, this is Jackson, and we are walking the Whitewater River today in Indiana, specifically for a very specific, beautiful, crazy looking animal, the common snapping turtle. And as luck would have it, we found one. Now this is just a little youngster. I'm not sure exactly how old. Another characteristic that's very distinguishable for a snapping turtle is a very long crocodile-like tail. Look at that tail. It is just so scaly. It looks like the tail of a baby alligator. Another way you can tell is the very sharp scutes along the carapace of this turtle. You can see this beautiful design. Really gives them a very dinosaur-like look. This amazing animal can live up to 30 years old. They do not have many predators once they get to that size. And there's nothing like the snapping turtle. It is the most unique turtle you can find out here in Indiana and the Midwest. And their range is all across the United States and even into Canada. Now, of course, these can't get as large as the alligator snapping turtle that's down the Everglades, but it's no less of a beautiful, amazing reptile. And their eyes are just gorgeous. Now, I also have to be careful to keep my hand away from the front of his mouth, because even though he's little, that little jaw, that could give a nasty bite. I don't know the exact amount of force that this jaw can have, but well enough to hurt like hell, so we're not going to risk that. You can see these amazing claws that they use to dig around in the ground, dig through the water, climb about. You just won't see this turtle swimming in open water, climbing on logs like you would a painted turtle or yellow-bellied slider or red-eared slider. Those turtles will be in open water, sometimes on the bottom, but a lot of times you'll see them on logs. These ones are strictly on the floor, the river bed or creek bed. They can also be found in ponds and lakes as well. These guys will lie in wait and ambush their prey. When a fish just gets a little too close, now they'll also eat frogs, tadpoles, basically anything they can fit in their mouth that comes too close, they're going to try to eat it. There's not many predators for this animal, especially when they get to old age. And usually if there is, the coyotes, black bears, large mammalian predators. There's really nothing in the water specifically that could hurt them. When they're this size, they could be at risk from another snapping turtle. Now this snapping turtle is a bit harder to tell when it's not fully grown, but I believe it is a female. Looking at the vent right there, the cloaca area, at the distance is very close to the plastron. Now this is younger, and I'm honestly not sure if that changes this rule, but because it's so close to the plastron, that would make it likely that this is a little lady. She's absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to nickname her Carol, although I doubt she even knows what I'm saying. I honestly don't know if snap turtles really call themselves anything. If you look at the plastron, which is the underside of the shell of the turtle, so the upside is the carapace, the underside is the plastron, it doesn't cover the full body. Look how much leg is exposed here. Now what that is for is muscle. These are extremely strong turtles, extremely muscle dense, very thick skin, thick scales, thick shell. And the unfortunate trade-off to have such a muscular development like that is just you have to give up some space. A shell can't contain it. You have to have some movement, some space for those muscles to move. And that's one of those evolutionary trade-offs. Whenever we evolve a trait that helps any kind of animal, whether it's a human, elk, deer, moose, snapping turtle, to adapt to its local environment, usually you have to give something up. Humans gave up their ability to live arboreally like most great apes. So we could live in a plain-like existence and do kind of distance running to chase down our prey over long terrains where we could outrun animals just by exhaustion, by attrition. These guys gave up that shell protection in order to have more muscles for their lifestyle. And given these turtles don't swim much in open water and they're usually found deep on the bottom of the water, most predators aren't even trying to hurt them, it makes sense why they would lose that defensive ability for muscles that can allow them to propel themselves to get prey. You may think these turtles are very, very dangerous. I want to back off there. You may think these turtles are extremely dangerous. Like a lot of reptiles, snapping turtles are very misunderstood. While he could give a very nasty bite, it is very unlikely he would ever try to hurt me unless I was trying to pick him up like I am right now. Reptiles, like a lot of animals, want to avoid conflict whenever they can. And as much as this guy can hurt a human, the odds are you won't even know he is there if you're walking around in the water. It's good to be aware of habitats where snapping turtles live just in case you step in one and surprise it, but they're not going to go out of their way to hurt you. Just an absolutely beautiful animal. This little shallow area is just where I found her. So we're gonna set her back down. Here you go, lady. Notice how her head came back up to get a breath of air. And she's quickly disappearing back into her watery domain. Farewell, Carol. They're not very dangerous as long as you are careful, respect their presence, and don't bother them. So of course, like what I'm doing right now.